Good morning, it's me, Dave Crane, live from Mauritius. I'm really excited to be here, as you can see from a big fat smiling face. Let me give you a quick tour of a room. This is beautiful. Here we are at the, I'm gonna get it wrong, aren't I? The True Au Beach Hotel, which is in Port Louis. Let me just show you. Okay, there's a TV. I'm not sure what I'm watching right now, some documentary or something. Okay, having a look around, there's a room, rather nice, as you may agree. There's an area for studying in, and you can see an empty drinks glass. Part of my studying was to see how duty-free tastes. Looking around, this is the bathroom, wardrobe, a travel light, the dunny, as they say in prison. I don't know, I'm making it up. Look at the shower. Oh my goodness, look at the shower. It's one of those ones that looks like it's raining. I love that, it's fantastic. And bath and blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me show you the view from my front room as well. When you open the door, this is Mauritius. Gotta be very careful I don't lock myself out of my room now. You see that? How beautiful is that? I'll show you the view from the back. I'm still here. Hello. Okay, let me take you through onto the balcony. Then I'll explain to you exactly what it is that I'm doing here. Not just gloating and saying, hey, look at my hotel room. But I'm kind of doing that as well. Here we are on the balcony. It's quite nice. Sort of a lounger chair here as well. That's nice, isn't it? So here we are. In fact, before I actually continue, let me show you the view. This is what I see first thing in the morning. Oh my goodness! Look at that! Look at that! Isn't that beautiful? Welcome to Mauritius. Now, yesterday it was raining a little bit, but you know what? You don't care. You just go up to Mauritius. I don't care how rainy it is. So here we are with a launch of the World Club Tens Rugby. And they brought me in very specifically because I know how to work an audience. But there's lots of interesting elements here that I want to share with you, just so you're up to speed. Because when I bring you up to speed on it, then I'll tell you day by day how we progress. The event is on the 18th and 19th of, it's this weekend of June. And we've got 8 teams coming from all around the world. So we've got some major talent. We've got Saracens coming from UK, Toulon from France, Brumbies from Australia. We've got Sharks coming from South Africa. There's 8 teams of major talent. I mean, we've got national teams, all-star teams as well, which makes it even more exciting. Now here's the dilemma. It's the very first time it's been held in Mauritius. Previously, when it was going on, it's better like that. That's better. Otherwise it looks like you're staring up my nose. Nobody wants to look there. So previously it's been held in Singapore. And by bringing it to Mauritius, it means a completely different locale, but it also means that you're talking about a different audience. Now the thing is, the guys in Mauritius, a couple of things that make it more challenging. First of all, they're traditionally into football, not into rugby. Now, I think from experience of hosting Dubai Rugby Sevens for 15 years and being a massive football fan, that ultimately rugby is a better audience sport to watch. When it comes down to rugby 10s, certainly, and rugby 7s, the reason for that is it's so fast. Let me just settle this camera down here. It's not wobbly. A nice area I can talk to you. So rugby's so fast, but literally, unlike football, when we did football 7s in Dubai, you can slow the game down and make it a 0-0 or make it a very slow defensive game if you want to, because that's football, it's a different way of playing. But when it comes down to doing rugby, you've got to outscore the other team. And especially when you're doing the 7s, everyone's like an Olympic sprinter, like a 100-meter sprinter. You've got to score more goals, more tries than the opposite team is doing. So it makes for a very fast game. So very quickly the audience get into it. So that's part of the dilemma. We've got to make the whole thing have an impact amongst the locals here, who are traditionally into football. So they're bringing me to cheer up the audience, to organise everything, to make it come together. And I brought in Andy Mavis, who you may know from Dubai Rugby Sevens as well, and various things he does around the world too. Great DJ. But here's the thing. Out here, the locals generally speak Creole. They might understand English, but Creole, which is a sort of dialect of French, is what you've got to engage the audience with. Now, I can't do that. I barely remember French. For anybody who went to Rye Hill School, remembers Mr. Maguire. I managed to pass, but I can ask for pommes frites bitte. That's German. See, that's how rubbish my French is. So I'm not that good at doing it. So somehow, you've got to get enthusiasm to work. And at the same time, because of what the government wants to create here, which is an interest in rugby and the next generation to come through and get an active interest in sport, we've got to showcase the latest young talent. Now that's great. Young people of like 11, 12 years old, playing on a big pitch for the audience to enjoy. But here's the dilemma: when you've got real top level teams and you've got local talents, the level of engagement for the audience does change. So you have to make sure that the entertainment you create not only hits the audience, but keeps their energy levels up. Otherwise they wander around. Now, one thing that's going to make it slightly more challenging is the hospitality area. Hospitality area is not inside the pitch. So it's an area outside. So if people want to go and get a drink and chill out, they're going to leave the stadium and go there. And of course, when you start drinking and chatting and chilling, you might have an interest in staying there. I'm going to move off the balcony slightly, because otherwise you might get a lot of wind. And that's not just me talking, it's because it's getting quite windy out there. So these are the things that we're going to have to work on as a dilemma. Now, the beauty of it is we have about 2 days to plan, to get all the referees together, to get the scheduling done, to get the activities together, and to make sure that when we do go live, we can work with an audience. And talk about audiences, it's going out to 160 countries and the potential 300 million people around the world. So it's not a throwaway gig, it's a massive gig. And we're going to be taking a live feed and covering it, which means that we need to make sure that the stadium looks busy, otherwise it looked like it didn't have the impact amongst the community that it needs to have to make it a global event. Now, this is the first time we've done it here. As I say, it was in Singapore before, so next year and the year after it's going to be in Mauritius, so it is part of a learning curve, but at the same time, as if you're in my position, you want to make sure that it works. Now, why did I share that with you? Because this is the sort of thing you've got to think about when you put an event together, and also because the amount of people who, when I posted on Facebook, I'm going to Mauritius, you get all my lucky gigs, Dave. No, I don't. I've got to work, well, I do as well, but I've got to work it, and these are the kind of things that at the end of the day, if we don't make it work, then I won't get the gig again. It's that simple. So I think that live events, same as your job, whatever it is that you do, has got a level of testing that goes into it, and also a level of achievement that you have to come out with some defined deliverables and results. For us, it's a case of putting the event together, making it work. Of course, this isn't even mentioning the rugby itself. When we do Dubai Rugby Sevens, one of the things that's fascinating about it is the position that people take on England. Now, England play against Wales in football tonight. Being English, I'm going to be supporting England, but being English, I expect us to get a good kicking at the same time. Gareth Bale, what's all that hair doing? So at Dubai Rugby Sevens, we also know that what England brings is a load of controversy. People love England, they hate England, but we need to see England stay in, because without that, the interest of the different teams isn't quite as dynamic. They love the teams, they love the rugby, but you need to have that going on. Now, with this rugby event, okay, I'm not going to specifically talk about any English team, but you've got to make sure that the engagement and the dynamics are just right. And the only way you can test it, the only way you can know, is live in the moment. So you prepare as many different things as you can do, you put them in position, and you might not even use half of them, half the activations that you're going to do, or the sponsor reads and mentions that you say you'll do, because they want to make sure they're there. But if the action's great, or the audience needs to be brought up, you might not have time to do these sort of adverts. You've got to make sure you work in the moment with the audience. So these are the kind of challenges that we've got. Just thought I'd share that with you. So I'm off to have a meeting. In fact, before that, I'm going to go and get myself some breakfast, because as you can see, look at that, starving. Poor old Dave. And also people just heading towards the pool. So this is me, live from Mauritius. I've got to do some work. I might do another broadcast later on, depending on how long we go. But I found that the reason I was late today is it took too long to charge up my phone, and so I couldn't do it until I charged it up properly. Hopefully later on today, before it gets too dark, I'll come back to you. So, have a wonderful day. I love your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I will be running competitions soon, by the way, so you can win some really cool stuff. I'm just preparing all the goodies and gifts for you. But meanwhile, thanks for this. Make sure that you click on like and following so you can get the new broadcasts as they come up. And I'll be here live across the world. Look at this. Look at this shot. It's so tough. Live from Mauritius. Take care. See you soon. All the best. Bye.